Yes, as you as you talk about, I also want to share my personal experience. Our previous podcast, I talked about it, but as you say, it would be better to remember. When I came across the IS preparation, I saw that the IS materials, actually the real English in the IS, is very difficult, a profound difficulty between the IS English and the English we were taught in our school, because I am in my 33 year, and when we learn English, we mainly focused on grammar, and we also took our exam over the grammar. And in that time we how can I say, even if couldn't listen or understand the not only the native speaker or somebody talking in English. And when I started my learning process, as I talked with Parvana teacher, and she actually talked with me in English, and I felt that I couldn't understand some of her words, natural words, because of lack of practice of my how can I say, preparation. And in that time it was the good way and the direction for me, that she told me every day you need exactly you need to start listening and engage in 2 hours passive listening and 2 hour active listening. And when I started this practice, 2 or 3 days after, I got stuck. But every time she inspired me and never give up and go on, keep going and stay in your stack, you will see your result. And I feel after 2 months, I felt that I how can I say, became more conveniently understand the words, understand the expression I heard on the internet, social media. And in that time I point out for myself that I am in the right course, I am in the right direction, and I need to keep going. Because one of our members also asked for us, and we will talk about the age matter in the learning process. There are many, how can I say, students learn English, or maybe the person in my age, or the early age, or after their 30s or 40s. Maybe it is physically, mentally hard, or there are some kinds of commitments that it is hard to engage in learning process. Maybe you forced or exposed to some kinds of conditions that you need to learn English. In that time, maybe you learn, but consciously, but how can I say, voluntarily, you couldn't learn English, you couldn't learn any another language in your elderly age. And I think that you need to keep on. I think that you need to every time be open to new circumstances, the new zone apart from our comfort zone. And I got 6 point out of from IS. It was my one of the best goals I achieved in my age and my circumstance. Actually, they surprised about my how can I say, success in English, because at least 15 years I didn't engage in learning new skills, learning new language. And what do you think? It is interesting me, and I presume that our listeners also seek into these kinds of information. That what do you think, is the age really matter about learning process? Is the people in my age or over my age actually couldn't learn or could learn the foreign language?
All right, before answer to your question, you think that age is matter for?
Yes, of course, because of the commitment, being, how can I say, more taking more responsibility. It is the necessity for our life because of our age. That's why I think it is the matter.
I'm afraid that I don't agree with you, because language, it's of course difficult kind of thing which you can do, but it's not impossible. Of course, there are some languages which is too complicated and we are not able to learn. For example, Chinese language, Japan language. But if we are talking about some international language, for example, the first one, English, German, France language, it's not very difficult to learn them. You just need to start from some basic things and go ahead. I don't think that age is obstacle on your way to learn it. Of course, if, for example, if you have some work or you need to take care about your children at home, cook, or you're generally busy, a person who doesn't have too much time, it will seem difficult. But let's imagine that you don't have too much work or you are free. You can start to learn it and it will not depend on your age. Of course, for some age it will complicate it only in one thing because of age, because of remembering. But it's only minor thing and not very important. You can just by practice solve this problem. So, as I mentioned before, I totally disagree with your argument, and maybe everyone can learn it. At least English language is not too difficult for some people. I saw in Europe that some elderly people know English language much more better than me, but they were from Romania, Bulgaria, or Poland, Finland. So it's not in a native English language speakers country. So
yes. Thank you very much your approach, and it is another different good point. But one of our member sent a new question, actually interesting question to us. What do you think about the grammar of the, especially we can mainly focus on English language. Do you think grammar is important, or basic grammar is important to learn some language or any foreign language? What I mean by this, that we learn our own native language without being informed. We listen and consume unconsciously from our early age, maybe 2, maybe 1 in our family. And I remember that in IS materials there was some reading passage about being bilingual, or about the important points of learning in the family, or bilingual or the multilingual. And I think that why we can, how can I say, couldn't consider the grammar in our native language when we learn it, but in the foreign language, mainly the course, mainly the teachers, also the schoolmates who actually engage in the learning process, say that basic grammar or grammar is important to learning language. What do you think about it?
Of course, grammar is very important for every language, and without grammar we are not able to make a logical and good structure for our friend or opponent who sit in front of us. And grammar, one of the important part of English language. From my point of view, it's not too difficult as it can seems for us. In some way, it's similar. English language grammar similar to Azerbaijan grammar or Russian grammar. So we don't need to say that it's very difficult. On the other hand, sometimes some part of grammar very easy, not too difficult. Maybe again important in this case is just repeat and practice. So it will help you to remember it. For example, I have some problems with articles because sometimes it's logical when we can use it, but sometimes I don't understand when we need to use it. Also, I have a problem with present perfect because in my two languages, I don't know where we don't have similar one, and I don't know when we need to use it. So sometimes
we naturally use it. Yes, we naturally use it. Unconsciously use the tense in correct way in our native language, because I think that your second language is as the native for you. That's why you sing. But the language we actually consciously want to learn, we need to obey some, how can I say, to grammar rule something. That's why I also want to know your opinion about the grammar. And you good, how can I mention about
yes,
it?
yeah. But of course, grammar not too complicated. It can learn everyone and without much obstacles. From my point of view, our language's grammar much more difficult than English language grammar. So we just need to consider, try to understand it logically, and repeat, and of course practice, and only practice way of success.
Yes. Thank you very much for your opinion about the question. And our last question was from Nizat Salahlı, and he wants to know that what was your own strategy for reading section, because I think that he had some difficulty in reading section IELTS. And you know, before you answer my question, I want to say that in IELTS the reading was easy for me, and when first time, yes, when we engage in the learning process preparation, I saw that over the internet or social media there are many tips, there are many strategies, mainly the teachers talk about, the course talk about, but one point, important point in our course, our Parvana teacher says that you maybe came across many strategies, maybe you came across many advice over the social media, because you know today is affordable to receive information about everything, and sometimes it would be complicated for us, how can I say, confused about our direction. And she told me that you need to choose your own strategy. And for choosing your own strategy, you need to, how can I say, practice. And after we talk about before our podcast, yes, after the 14 years, the book, I saw that there is some logical strategy in IELTS reading, in IELTS preparation. That's why I choose my own strategy. I mainly focused on skimming and scanning. Also, my first and important, vital, supportive, how can I say, step was that I always tried to locate the answer of the question, not the specific answer, exact answer, but the locate of the answer. And when I, how can I say, find appropriate part of the passage for the statements, I can easily manage, I can easily deal with the question. And first time, my first period in the beginning of preparation, it took me 1 or 2 hours only for one passage, because of lack of the knowing the knowledge about the strategy. But my last time, I only spent 10 or 15 minutes for the one passage, and I can, how can I say, sufficiently organize my time over the reading. And also from the reading, in my mock exam, I got 7 points all the time, but unfortunately 6.5 of my real exam. But you know, that's why I said that we need to choose our own strategy. And as Nijat asked, what is your own strategy for reading? But you can talk your lovely section, maybe listening, maybe writing or speaking. What was your own strategy?
Well, to be honest, I just tried to focus on first passage because it was the easiest one and gave good scores. So I tried to write 13 out of 13, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was 13 first passage, yes. And in my real exam, the first passage was very easy, very clear, and maybe I write at least 11 out of 13 because it was very easy. But in my first steps, I also spent 1 hour for one passage because for me reading general it's too difficult because they use first of all they use very complicated and weird, yeah, and weird way to explain it, and it's also difficult to find understand what they mean and find the right part. So I really was in risky because it was very difficult for me. So I tried to focus on first passage, and I don't know did I mention it but or not. In my real exam, I wrote my first passage during 15 or 20 minutes, and second passage was also easy, and I put maybe I did it successful, but third passage was not good. It was horrible, very difficult, the difficult one which I came across before. So personally, I don't know how to share my personal experience with our followers. Maybe you, a person who know better who is good one in it, can tell them about it. I can just share what happened with me, and also can help in listening, but in reading I'm not very good.
In reading section, I also want to add something about my own preparation. In reading section, once Parvana teacher said that as the passage became hard, the tactical, the strategy is more easy. And when I read the last passage in IELTS preparation, I saw that it is true because firstly, it was interesting for me to gain interesting information also from the passage, and that's why mainly in our language I also like to read many information, the historical occasion, or maybe the history of the empires, or maybe the countries. That's why maybe
science,
yes, that's why yes, you good mentioned that. That's why I think that I always like to read something, and as you said, we can say that the main supportive way is practice and never give up, stay in your track. And we want to say it to Nijat, you can stay in your track, you can practice, and as you practice, you actually will see that you actually deal with your difficulty in reading section, and apart from reading section, the whole way you can manage some difficulties in IELTS. And finally, I also want to say our followers that we are the representatives of Cambridge English Teaching Academy by Parvana teacher. You can join us, you can subscribe our channel, and you can feel free about giving feedback, support us, because I feel that it is a new project over the English learning process in our country, and actually it would be inspiration for us to support our attempts, support our steps about learning, because as we talk every podcast, our purpose is that we can talk in English even if we are in B1 and B2, because the main thing is be or feel convenient and feel comfortable when you speak in foreign language. And Raul, thank you very much. Thank you for your coming, and it was very worthwhile discussion, and your opinion was very, I actually hope and believe in that your opinion will be the best support for our followers, for our young generation, the learners, and I think that these kinds of steps, these kinds of attempts actually have to continue, not only for us, not only from us. The other course, the other individuals can take these kinds of action, and after your last opinion we can thank our followers, and we can apart our podcast, we can finish our podcast.
Well, I don't need to add something. I said everything in our interview. Just wish best of luck and never give up.
Okay, thank you very much again. Thank you very much, guys. You can subscribe our channel. You can get information about our course, the information over the YouTube. We have the location, we have telephone, phone numbers, and you can join our course. You can join our members. You can improve your English with us. Thank you very much. Take care of you. We will join with you in our next podcast. Thank you very much, guys.